Miguel Davila will kick it off for Fort Morgan, dressed in their road whites. The opening kickoff brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. And very misty here, so we'll pick up the numbers as we go along. The Mustangs in their road whites and Conifer in their home greens. That dark green, almost a hunter green, the left-footed boot, is high end over end and deep, and that one is about 7 yards into the end zone. That was a lot more impressive than we anticipated.
Yeah, I didn't know what kind of kicker they had this year, but that was very good.
Yeah, not much wind up here. Flags are pretty limp.
Yeah, we're going to keep it here with limited commercial sets, at least throughout the course of the first half because of the conditions. So we'll be talking quite a bit, and hopefully highlighting a lot of Mustang points. Now, Conifer won this matchup last year 13-10 on a desperation 4th and long pass that was caught for a touchdown. Out of the pistol formation, 1st and 10 for the 20. 2 receivers to the left. Now Cozart is in motion to the right. It looked like the quarterback took a step back, a handoff on the left side, and a big hole across the left side, across the 25 to the 30-yard line, and that's a big gain for, looks like, is that Karsten Wolanski? And hopefully the rosters match, because I heard another name up there. And it's a gain of 11 and a first down. Again, trying to pick up the numbers here. I believe Wyatt Nichols is the quarterback from the 31. He is the quarterback. Handoff and a hit in the backfield. And it's a loss of 3. That is a big hit for the Mustangs. And it's the penetration by Christian Velasquez. 2nd down and 13 as he was running to the left side, and Wolanski got eaten up there, Brian.
Yeah, that was a good job by that defensive end to get in there and shut that off on this left end of the offense.
Now the scoreboard is broken, so we have no idea how much time is left. Although we're just underway. Man in motion to the right. There's the give on the end around. Running wide to the right with a stiff arm to the outside to the 34, and a good tackle along the far side. Maybe Langford might have gotten out there. The carry by the tight end Grady Forsyth before the hit was made. A gain of about 5. We'll call it 3rd down and 7 yards to go. And they stretched that out very well defensively, Kevin.
Yeah, they seem, Conifer seems to want to run to the outside, and so far they've had some success on that, but we did hold them to 6 yards.
From the 34, 3rd down and 7. Wyatt Nichols will pitch it left. Not much running room and breaking out of a tackle. Cutting it back to the inside and a first down across the 40 to the 42. And somehow wiggling his way for yardage and gaining 8 yards was Jacob Ryan. The Mustangs should have had that play action. They'll give him exactly, it'll be 8 yards for Ryan. But that was simply a pitch left.
Yeah, they should have had him in the backfield. He just cut it inside. Defense did what they wanted him. They didn't let him get outside. They cut it up the middle, but nobody there to take him down.
On 1st and 10 for Conifer at their own 42. Just underway. Opening game of the 2023 season under a heavy mist. And there's the handoff left side, and Wolanski thrown for a loss. Penetration there by both Trey Romero and Victor Villalobos, a junior. And it's feast or famine so far. We've had 2 for losses and then 2 or 3 decent gains by Conifer.
Yeah, I think Fort Morgan just needs to settle down on defense and read their keys, because there's a lot of motion and people going everywhere in this offense.
They're not taking much time in the huddle. 2nd down and 13. There's the give on the left. No, the quarterback will throw it underneath. It's caught. Boy, that's a nice fake to midfield. That's a gain of about 12. And it looked like that might have been caught by the tight end, Forsyth. And they'll backtrack the football to the 49. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. So a gain of 9 on that pass.
Yeah, Fort Morgan got a good spot on that one. I thought he was past the 50.
Yeah, Forsyth was past the 50. 3rd down and 3 at their own 49. And again, Conifer maybe takes 10 seconds in that huddle. Again, out of the pistol. Rain is picking up even more. And there's the give on the right side and a first down, and still bowling his way into Mustang territory to the 44. For a gain of about 7 is Carson Payer. And the drive continues, and the rain is getting even heavier now in Conifer. This is an all-turf field. Just over 8:50 to go. There's the give. There's Payer. A jitterbugging his way, breaking out of an ankle tackle, but he's back to the line of scrimmage. Mustangs had too many players there, including Velasquez. And also in on the hit was Trey Romero, second down. And we'll call it 9. He got a yard to the 43-yard line, but all Conifer has done is run the ball with the exception of that one pass that was caught underneath on a second down and long.
Yeah, I would look for him to maybe pass in this second and long.
At the 43-yard line of the Mustangs. Pistol formation, 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. There is Nichols. Play action, throws out to his left. It's incomplete. There was contact underneath. I don't know if that was an illegal screen. That should have been offensive pass interference on Jacob Ryan. He screened out the Mustang defender, and hopefully that's the call that's going to be made. There's a penalty marker down in the Mustang secondary, but I think, Brian, that should be against Conifer.
Yeah, they took Charlie Langford out on the play. I don't know if it was
Holding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the Mustangs will take that penalty, and that should move the football back into Conifer territory. It was second down and 9. That should be a second and 19 now. And we anticipated this. The forecast did call for heavier rain once we got to kickoff, and it is pretty accurate at this point as they walk off the penalty yardage. They've got to get to the Mustang 34. The football's at the 47. So it's second down and 19 to go for Conifer. About 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Scoreboard is not operational, so we're getting updates along the way. Out of a shotgun, the running back to the left of Nichols. Trips to the right. Now Forsythe in motion to the left. Low snap. He's got the football in the end around, and he's taken down after a short gain to the 45-yard line, and that is Noah Aguirre. And he got back to the line of scrimmage, or maybe a couple of yards. Nope. Yeah, back to the line of scrimmage. It's third down. And about 18 yards to go. Give him a yard, and that's the key, Brian. Right there is Aguirre, as Coach Davies mentioned in the pregame. He's got to be the anchor to this defense.
Yeah, he's the leader out there on defense, that's for sure. I would, up along the line. I think Charlie Langford probably was pretty vocal out there too, so we will see what they can do here on third and long.
And it should be a quick moving game considering the conditions. Not too much passing, but this is a passing situation. Third down and long to go. Nichols to throw. The screen is dropped underneath by Wolanski at the 44. And Conifer will have to punt, and for one of the few times in the game, even though there's only been one drive, the clock is stopped, and the Lobos will have to punt. As I mentioned 1 year ago, the Mustangs had a 10-0 lead early on, and then Conifer came back to win the game 13-10 with a pick six and then a conversion on a fourth and long. Benson White, a junior, is back to punt. Angel Lopez to receive. White standing at his own 32, and there's a whistle, and I'm not sure what the whistle's all about. I don't think the play clock was running down.
No, they got a penalty on the other side. Somebody must have lined up offsides on the offense.
False start or illegal formation either way. Well, we will not be taking stats in this game. Brian and I gave it a shot, but that would be ludicrous at this point. So now it is fourth down and 25 at their own 41-yard line. No score. The Mustangs have yet to touch the football. White at his own 26-yard line. There's a perfect snap, a light rush, and that ball is not moving at all in terms of rotation, and it's out of bounds into the Conifer bench at about the, 30. They're going to walk it off at the 35-yard line. That's where Fort Morgan will take over.
Pretty good field position for the Mustangs to start their first drive.
J.J. Marquez got lots of starts as a freshman. And again, we're going to keep it out here without any commercial breaks until halftime, just to keep us as intact as possible. In the backfield is Samson Ortega. Pistol formation from the 35. Oscar Ramirez resets to the right. Marquez will hand it off to Ortega, jitterbugging back to the middle. A first down across the 45 along the right sideline. Tackle from behind by Forsythe to the 47. It's a gain of 18 and a first down. And welcome back to Samson Ortega, who got hurt last year in the Frederick game.
Yeah, he did good. I took the boys up to the Gunnison. Oh, they took off too soon. Left side was in a hurry.
Well, that's a no huddle. And I'm wondering, do they have to go to the no huddle? But I guess that's something they're practicing. And now it's going to be a first down and 15, the left side of the offensive line move. Brian, you were making a point there?
I took the boys up to Gunnison to their football camp this summer and watched some of their practices and stuff. And Samson Ortega was pretty much the main back out there on their offensive schemes, and he was doing a real good job up there.
On first down and 15 from their own 48-yard line, with two receivers split out to the left. J.J. Marquez. Man in motion to the left, resetting. There's the snap and the handoff to Ortega, running left, breaks out of a tackle, takes it to the outside, bounces it to the 40, across the 40 to the 38. It's a gain of 14 yards, and he's tough to stop tonight so far, Kevin.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of running. I was thinking the offensive line's doing a little better job, but he's breaking a lot of tackles and earning a lot of that on his own. He's going to have a great season, looks like.
Oh, he's had a good game so far, just 2 carries for 29 yards. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage on second down and 1 to go from the 38-yard line. At this point, you could say, well, we could open up the playbook, maybe even take a chance on a pass, but in these conditions, they're just going to run the football on a drive that started at their own 35-yard line. From the pistol, Lopez in motion. Marquez will hand it off. First down, and a big hole, swinging it to the right side of the 20, now to the 10. Samson Ortega, touchdown! He goes 38 yards, right up the middle, and then to his right. He found the seam, and the Mustangs are on the board in their first drive of 2023. It's 6-0.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, and like Kevin was saying, he got a lot of it, once he broke through. But the line on that one did an excellent job up front and made some holes for him.
That was a 65-yard drive, but because they went backwards, Samson had 3 carries for 67 yards. So let's keep track of that number collectively, because he's going to be over 100 probably by the end of the quarter. And now the left-footed extra point to be attempted. That's a line drive, and that is right in between the uprights by Miguel Davila. So the Mustangs lead 7-0. Next week, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after, we'll be in Fort Morgan now. Next week will be a Thursday game, as the Mustangs will take on the Brush Bee Diggers.
Who are playing Wiggins tonight.
That's on 1010 KSIR. By the way, we're making our debut tonight on Facebook Live on 1010 KSIR Sports at 11 p.m. Morgan County late night. I'll be with you from some location, usually my house. Getting on for a few minutes talking Morgan County football. So that's Morgan County late night, 11 p.m. on the 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page. So it's not just covering the Mustangs or the Bee Diggers, Walden Valley and Wiggins as well. And it's basically an open forum with no time limitation. We'll go anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. So that was a 65-yard drive for the Mustangs, and Davila will kick it off with a 7-0 lead. The rain has tapered off just a bit. Can he boot this one into the end zone? That one is going to be just as deep. It's carrying. It doesn't look like it's coming off his foot that effectively. All of a sudden, that ball is traveling, and I wouldn't think it's anything to do with wind because I don't feel much of it.
Well, there's no wind according to the flyers up on top of the flagpoles. In this kind of weather, you would think this would be a heavy, although we are at a higher altitude, but the weather, you would think this kind of damp, it would be a lot heavier air, but he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
The Mustangs lead 7-0. Conifer on their second drive at their own 20-yard line. And this time, the quarterback is under center. Different formation in the first drive. Nichols will hand it off on the right side, and Wolanski across the 25 to the 27. He had a couple of good runs, but then he was also stuffed in the backfield on that first drive. A gain of 8, second down and 2 to go before the hit was made in the Mustangs secondary. And, man, these teams are going to maximize the number of plays they run because nobody's taking time in the huddle.
No.
Two receivers split out to the right, one to the left. Pistol formation, handoff, first down, spinning across the 30 to the 34 as Wolanski, a gain of 6. Trey Romero made the first hit right around the ankles before he was taken down to the turf. And now checking back into the game for Conifer is Cam Sadowski. And really on the last drive, they moved the ball intermittently. The problem is they committed a huge penalty. At their own 34, shotgun formation. Is Sadowski going to get the handoff? And he will, running left, and he stutter steps, and he's across the 35 to the 40. The Mustangs look like they're there to make the play, but all of a sudden they just can't complete the process, and it's a gain of 6 when that could have easily been, Kevin, maybe 2 yards or less.
Right, I think he did a really good job of reading that and saw the one guy was a little overextended and cut back on him and was able to cut it up for 5 yards. Nice run.
It's a gain of 6 to the 40. 2nd down and 4 to go. The Mustangs got a 38-yard touchdown run in their opening drive from Samson Ortega. 3 carries for 67 yards. Under center, 2nd down and 4. Nichols with a handoff right up the gut. Oh, and it's closed after a yard, maybe 2. And that's a big hit by Miguel D'Aliva. That was the secondary back. It was not Wolanski there, but the gain to the 42-yard line, 3rd down, and 2 to go, and everything is wet here, including our bodies.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that Conifer may have explored the pass on that first drive. They're not going to pass anymore.
Well, they did complete the pass, though, so let's see what happens. Yeah, it's the mistake they made. Now they've got a couple in the backfield. Yeah, I think they're going to run here. Obviously, 3rd down and 2 for the 42. And rolling out to his right, wide open is Forsythe off the back foot. The pass is going to be caught. He came back to the football along the right sideline and knocked out of bounds. The Mustangs blew the coverage there and nearly got away with it because the receiver had to come back to the football.
Yeah, they were expecting to run, and the defensive back sucked up, and he went right by him.
And it got all the way down to the 36-yard line, a gain of 24 and a first down. But if that pass is thrown properly down the field, that would have been a lot more than 24 yards.
Yeah, I'll stay out of the prophesying business.
On 1st down and 10 from the 36-yard line, at least for the first quarter. It's game 1. Again, from the pistol this time. Man in motion. There's the give and a big hole to the 30 and close to a first down at about the 25-yard line for Conifer. And that is Carson Payer, a gain of 11. And Fort Morgan's run defense has been very, very spotty, especially on this drive. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. There's Nichols, hand off to Payer, stutter stepping. He's held up, but he continues to barrel his way to about the 20. I think the Mustangs, Brian, are tackling too high, at least on that play.
Yeah, they are, but it seemed like when they were trying to tackle low, I don't know if this being wet and they're slipping off, they're not being able to grab like they need to. It seemed like they're slipping through their arms, but you got to hit him about waist high and then drive him down.
It looks like Conifer's made some adjustments in the. We're not getting anyone breaking through and making a tackle in the background or backfield. They're maintaining their blocks a lot better on offense.
2nd down and 5 to go for the 20. Fort Morgan with a 7-0 lead. Back to the pistol, low snap. There's the pitch left and swinging it to the outside after a gain of about 2 or 3. Let's see, that's not Forsythe, that's Jackson Cozart. And he was able to get 3 yards, 3rd down, and a couple of yards to go. And the football sitting at the Mustangs 17-yard line, but Conifer's been very impressive offensively. Fort Morgan's really only made 2 plays in the first 2 drives, getting these ball carriers down. Wolanski the lone setback, 3rd down, and 2 to go for the Mustangs 17. There's the snap. Nichols will hand it off up the middle and still driving towards the 15 and short of the first down. That is Wolanski. Yeah, he's held up there. Looked like he was very slippery because they had him at the line of scrimmage and was able to squeeze a yard out of that. 4th down and 1 to go for the 16. Now this is kind of like a goal line defense, but you got to be careful because they could certainly
End of the quarter?
Utilize the perimeter, and that is the end of the first quarter. We'll keep it right here. I'm John Beltran with Kevin Rohde. Scoreboard is not operational. And it's a 7-0 lead for the Mustangs on a 38-yard touchdown run by Samson Ortega. So we'll go to the other end. We'll take a break at halftime. We'll have a halftime feature. But just keeping it here as long as possible considering these conditions tonight in Conifer. We've got the equipment well protected. Bee Diggers and Wiggins Tigers probably playing under drier conditions in brush. And when we were here 2 years ago, there was a lot more of a crowd, but who's going to come to a game like this unless you've got a dog in the fight, so to speak?
We'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our athletic training
B&B Appliance, from refrigerators to vacuums and everything in between. They have exactly what you need in service at 2. That is B&B Appliance. Brian Kevin was asking me on the way up here what I thought CU would do this year, University of Colorado. I said about 3 wins. For some reason, there's those that think that Deion Sanders can turn it around in 1 year and win about 6 or 7 games, which, hey, maybe he can, but I think that's a stretch.
It'll be tough.
Especially still in the Pac-12 against the likes of Utah and USC and Oregon and Arizona and Arizona State.
You got TCU first up.
Oh, yeah, the only thing TCU did wrong last year was try to show up in the national championship game because Georgia beat them by about 60.
Yeah, that was
not pretty.
That was old-fashioned butt whipping there.
Here we go. 4th down and 1, opening play of the second quarter. The Mustangs with a 7-0 lead. Conifer's got it at the Fort Morgan 16-yard line. And unless Fort Morgan takes a chance on defense, I don't see how they're going to stop Conifer the way they've been running the ball. Fort Morgan's going to have at least one player come through the line. Velasquez made a nice play in the first quarter, but everything has been downfield in this running game. There's this direct snap running right, an easy first down. That is Forsyth inside the 10 to the 9. It's a gain of 7, and that was too easy off the direct snap.
Yeah, it was wide open on that right side. It was just, and he had a head of steam going through there too. He like a locomotive going through there. But
well, it's 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. The Mustangs hopefully can come up with a turnover because it's not looking good right now in terms of stopping this team. There's a snap to White Nichols, the handoff right side. Sadowski is hit at the line of scrimmage, running wide to the right. And the initial penetration for Fort Morgan came from Ben Fritzler, a sophomore who got plenty of playing time a year ago. Actually, later on in the season is when he got that playing time. 2nd down and goal at the 9. That's just what they need, 1 or 2 plays to neutralize this offense. Inside of 11 minutes to go. Before the break, Fort Morgan 7, Conifer nothing. Nichols, counter handoff, Wolanski cuts it back to the middle, and he dives inside the 5 to the 4-yard line, a gain of 5. And the Mustang hit was made by Kenneth Underwood. 3rd down and goal, and this is easily 4-down territory unless they take a huge loss.
yeah, 4th down for sure.
Yep, pistol formation. Wolanski up the middle, tries a break out of a tackle. His left knee was down at the 3. His left knee was down at the 3. Velasquez was there, but I think the bigger hit came from Oscar Ramirez, and you need that type of experience because he was one of the few sophomores. It was him, Aguirre, Charlie Langford to an extent that made a contribution to the state championship team 2 years ago, and now he's a senior.
Yeah, the second hit on that tackle is what drove him back. The first one kind of slowed him, but then he was hit on that secondary hit, and that put him back.
All right, it's 4th down and goal from the 3-yard line. And now
timeout for
a
Oregon.
timeout is called by the Mustangs, their first. We're guessing about 9.5 minutes to go before the break. That football looks like it's closer to the 2.5, but we'll give them the 2.
10:03. It looks like they've got a projected up on there.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, I can see that from here.
That was when the game started. That was there, and then it had gone away.
Okay.
Now it's real light but visible.
Yeah, so it's like a screen scoreboard. It's like if you're watching it on the internet.
Yep.
It's not a digital scoreboard that you would be used to at the stadium. So a huge play coming up. We're going to call it 4th down and goal from the 2-yard line. The Mustangs didn't have to do much offensively. They just gave the ball to Samson Ortega 3 times, and he took care of the drive.
Yeah, he hit that initial hole, and he was gone.
So, Brian, I'm guessing Conifer has run about 18 some odd plays, and Fort Morgan has run, what, about 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And that's about it. So here we go. 4th and goal from the 2. Mustangs have to be ready for anything. Forsythe has speed to the outside. Wolanski up the middle. The quarterback Nichols can keep it. A number of options. Wolanski's in that backfield along with Jackson Cozart. Now waiting for the direct snap is Forsythe, and he runs into the end zone right behind his right guard. And that was too easy. I'm not sure the Mustangs were ready defensively. It's a 2-yard touchdown run by Grant Forsythe. And Conifer draws to within 1. It's Fort Morgan 7, Conifer 6, with under 10 minutes to go before the break.
Yeah, that play that they ran is the same one they ran on the 4th and short, and I think they could run that every time and get 5 or 6 yards. I don't know how Fort Morgan is going to figure out how to stop that.
Yeah, because they had Forsythe behind everybody, so they had 10 blockers up front.
It's at a number 9 with the kicker. I'm trying to get the Damian Simpson, a junior right-footed kicker. Wolanski to hold. Awaiting the snap. It's low, and the kick is blocked right into the line. Well, it was blocked by the kicker himself because it kicked it right into the line. That was blocked by multiple players on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mustangs with a 7-6 lead. They'll get the football back. Now, the one concern, obviously, is the run defense at this point, at least through the first 14 minutes of football.
Yeah. Knowing Josh Langford, he's already got something in his head that he's going to be looking at halftime or maybe even partway through the second quarter to put a halt to that running game. Josh has always done a real good job about changing things up to stop that other offense.
Yeah, currently they're playing with 3 down linemen and looks like 4 linebackers and maybe a strong safety sneaking up once in a while, and they might have to put more in the box.
Well, let's see what type of return they get. Their return game flourished against Pueblo County last year when Charlie Langford took, I believe, both a kickoff and a punt back for a touchdown. And let's see if that's Simpson to kick it off. We'll see how strong of a leg he's got. Yeah, Lopez was back in the punt game, but I'm not sure that's the strategy here in the return game. Usually Langford is the one who takes care of that. The right-footed Damian Simpson. And if he kicks it anything like the extra point, it's going to be a low-line drive. He could squib it. It's a line drive, and it's dropped at the 2, picked up at the 1-yard line. Stutter stepping to the 5 and swinging it to the outside, looking for a seam across the 10, and still breaking out of tackles across the 15 to the 17-yard line. That is Charlie Langford, and he's lucky to get that much on the return because he was in major trouble.
Yeah, I think you do something like that, I think you just need to let it go into the end zone and start fresh on the 20. I know every returner thinks they're going to be able to return it for a touchdown, but there's times when you just need to let it go, especially in this type of weather.
That's what Kevin Rohde thought in his playing days.
Oh, yeah. Every time I touched the ball, I wanted to score.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Good thing I wasn't a center.
How in the world did he get the ball to the 20? I didn't think he'd reach the 20.
No.
So that's a heck of a return considering he could have been down at about the 5 or 6 yard line, but he swung it to the outside out of the pistol formation. And there is the give, and hit behind the line of scrimmage is Ben Fritzler. He had no chance there, and he was taken down by Pearson Michael. 2nd down and 10 to go at the 20-yard line. Keep in mind, Ortega, first drive, Samson Ortega, 3 carries for 67 yards, and that 38-yard touchdown. Mustangs lead 7-6. Fritzler remains in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the left. 4 yards behind center is Marquez. He'll hand it off to Fritzler to the left side, cutting it back to the middle. First down, tackled around the ankles across the 30 to the 33. That's a nice cutback by Ben Fritzler and a gain of 14 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, we saw that from him last year when he was in there. We knew there was going to be good things coming from him when we saw him last year, and that was a nice run there.
He's got enough speed. If you just get him out of the backfield, that's what happened on the first carry. He was unable to get out of the backfield. Well, he got back to the line of scrimmage, but that time, once he got across the line of scrimmage, then he can operate with some speed and versatility. First down and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 34, leading 7-6. 8:39 to go before the break. Man in motion to the right. High snap. Marquez hands it off to Fritzler, and he bowls and spins across the 35 to the 39 for a gain of 5. That's a strong run for Ben Fritzler, who had to be pretty much wrestled to the ground there, Kevin.
Yeah, they had to spin him around, and he did a good job of securing that football. The line on that previous play had opened up a big hole, and he didn't get hit until he was 8 yards down the line. That time he is fighting from the line of scrimmage on.
And they've got to run the football well this game because they know they're going to play run defenses better than Conifer in the future, probably even next week with Brush. Second down and 5 at their own 39-yard line, again from the pistol. In motion, handoff, Fritzler stutter stepping across the 40. Then he's taken down at the 43 for a gain of 4. Third down and a yard to go as Grady Forsythe, who scored the lone touchdown for Conifer from 2 yards out, that has made the hit.
Trey Romero coming in,
All right.
number 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a 3rd and 1 situation. Romero can easily take this. He's a strong kid, big, strong kid. Take that football and just find a seam. Very Tebow-ish in a way. Remember, they take out Chris Leak back in the mid-2000s, and then they bring in Tebow before Tebow took over permanently. 3rd down and 1. To his left, Romero. First down to the 45. Not much there. All he needed was 1. He got 2. And maybe 3 to the 46. And by the time the ball is snapped again, though, we'll be under 7 minutes to go. And we've had the rain taper off. Now it's intensified again. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 46. We've only had 4 drives in this game. 2 by Conifer. 1 was a punt. The other was a touchdown. The Mustangs scored on their first drive and now have got it again 54 yards away from the end zone. Aguirre resets. Pretty much a naked backfield coming on a blitz. Romero rolls to his right. He gets around the outside. The ball is stripped and it's loose. And I think the Mustangs fell on the football, but it's a loss of 10 back to the 36-yard line. I believe Aguirre or Oscar Ramirez fell on the ball, but it's a loss officially now of 9 at the 37-yard line. 2nd down and 19. That play was a disaster.
Yeah, I don't know what happened and what he was even thinking. It almost looked like he was trying to look to pass and then ran, and he just doesn't have the athleticism that the running backs do to be able to outrun anyone.
2nd down and 19 to go from their own 37. Marquez out to his right, screen caught underneath, cutting it back to the inside of the 40 with a seam. That is Langford near the 45, back near the original line of scrimmage, and we'll give him 9 yards. 3rd down and 10. That's a good wide receiver screen to the guy with the best hands on the team.
Yeah, he looked that right in. I watched it when he got that over there, and he looked it right into his hands and put it away. He knows what this weather can do to you.
5.5 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter. The Mustangs lead 7-6 on a 38-yard touchdown run by Samson Ortega. They had the lead first. 2 receivers out to the left. Lopez on the inside slot, Langford on the outside. On 3rd down, and there's a handoff to Fritzler. He's not getting out of the backfield. Wow, I think they tried to catch Conifer off guard, and there was too much penetration. Thrown down for a loss at the 44-yard line. 4th down and 12. And Fort Morgan, with under 5 minutes remaining before halftime, will have to punt, and Cam Sadowski is back deep to receive. Yeah, that had to be a surprise there, or a plan of surprise. Perfect snap. Romero with a low line drive, bounces at the 32, takes a huge Fort Morgan roll inside the 10. That's going to go all the way to about the 5, maybe the 4-yard line, and that's as good a punt as you can execute. 52 yards with a roll and all you've got to do is make a play defensively. You'll get great field position
Yep.
when you get the ball back.
That's right.
Yeah, they need to try and get a 3 and out here and get the ball back.
And even so, it's going to be tough for Conifer to go the length of the field running the ball with only 4.5 minutes to go.
On first down and 10 at their own 5-yard line. And Conifer's got a long, long, long way to go here, without a doubt. From the pistol, Wyatt Nichols, the quarterback, sends a teammate in motion to the right. There's a flag, and that's going to be a penalty, I would think, against Conifer. I didn't see any movements on the Fort Morgan side. This will be a false start against the Lobos, and the football's back to the 2.5-yard line, or the 2. Yeah, the official line of scrimmage was the 5. So it will be at the 2.5-yard line. First at about 12 plus for Conifer. Do they dare to try and pass this football? Wolanski's in the backfield from the pistol once again. And there's the pass out. Caught a little slant right up the middle. A nice gain. And that is to Jacob Ryan to the 11. That's a gain of 9. That's a nice quick hitter there, Kevin.
Yeah, it was. And they obviously have confidence in their quarterback and their receivers. I don't think I could catch a ball in this weather. My hands are pretty slick. But, they've got gloves and everything, a lot of that stuff. But, yeah, that should open up the offense a little bit because Fort Morgan has to be honest with the pass as well as the run.
Second down and 4 to go for the 11. Same formation. Wyatt Nichols will hand it off on the left side, and that's Wolanski slipping his way for about 2 or 3 yards, just shy of a first down. And looked like Ramirez might have made a hit there. Third down and 1 to go at the 14, a gain of 3. Yeah, this will be a running play, you would think. So Wolanski, Nichols will hand it off Wolanski left side, and he's tripped up, but he got a first down to the 16. He was tripped up in the backfield, but kept his balance. It might have been Langford who got, nope, it wasn't Charlie. Somebody else got a hand in on that play. He got the hand in on the player there. That was Davila. But once Davila hit him in the backfield, he stumbled for a couple of yards. First and 10 at the 16. Conifer's got all 3 timeouts, but they've got a long way to go. 3:13 to go, 7-6 Fort Morgan. And there is the counter running left, and nothing. Swallowed up. That is Karsten Payer, thrown down right at the line of scrimmage. Too many Mustangs in on the play.
They ran that earlier and got some pretty good yardage for him, so they went back to it again, but Fort Morgan was waiting for it that time.
Second down and 10 to go. Yeah, now they took their time in the huddle. They don't want the Mustangs to get the ball back with 2:33 to go. 7-6 Fort Morgan, second quarter. Shotgun formation. Nichols will roll out to his right, pressure coming, throwing off his back foot. It is caught underneath, but well short of a first down. Sadowski makes the catch, and Ben Fritzler made the hit. The gain is about 6 to the 22. Third down and 4 to go. And now we are under 2 minutes to go before halftime. The Mustangs have 2 timeouts remaining. Running back directly behind the quarterback, who's 4 yards behind center. Wyatt Nichols awaits the snap. Cozart in motion, play action. The pass over the middle is caught, and a first down to the 35, and a gain of 13. That's caught by Ryan, and Fritzler made the tackle again. They'll give him the 36 for a pickup of 14, and even though they're not throwing much, that passing game is pretty sharp.
Yeah, and that kid's a nice tall kid. He just gets back with our short defensive backs, and they throw it up to him.
And there's the handoff, and stutter stepping with a hold of the outside and being ushered out of bounds is Karsten Payer for a gain of about 6. Samson Ortega made the tackle. Clock stops. You've got 92 seconds to go before halftime. You've got all your timeouts. You're moving the football. This drive started at their own 5-yard line. They had to backtrack because of a penalty. And Fort Morgan's got to make a play.
Yeah, we'll see if they come out passing a little bit more. They want to try and get downfield and get back in the end zone. But
They're going to have to, but the Mustangs have got to apply some pressure.
yeah,
Right.
2nd down and 5 yards to go for Conifer at their own 42-yard line. From the shotgun, running back to the left of the quarterback. Sadowski's in motion to the left. Nichols, check that. That's Kozart instead. The direct snap thrown down by Aguirre for a loss at the 41. Well, that might change things for Conifer. They're not going to stop the clock. 1:17 to go. The Mustangs will certainly not stop the clock because they don't have the football yet. 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Conifer will stop the clock if they get a first down. And now they're going to do it anyway. With 1:09 remaining, first timeout is called. 3rd and 5 at their own 41-yard line. And the Mustangs with a 1-point lead. Kevin, what are your observations on this game so far?
It seems to be a pretty closely matched game with both teams able to, play really well on offense. I think the one time Conifer drive stopped, as you put it, they killed themselves. Fort Morgan
Did the same?
did the same, and you just got to play mistake-free football, and coaches got to do their job of calling the right plays that put your kids in the right position to do well.
The only thing, to be honest with you, Brian, that has totally shocked me in a positive way is that left leg of Miguel Davila.
yeah,
I mean, he's kicked 2
yeah.
well into the end zone. I didn't know that he had, his foot is stronger than Marquez or who's the other kid they had who was a soccer player back in the
Yeah.
days when Toby McBride played with Gonzalez
Yeah.
or somebody. I forget his name, but he was a great kicker as well. 3rd down and 5 for the 41. Conifer on their own side of the field. 68 seconds to go before halftime. In motion is Forsythe. He's got the football. He breaks out of a tackle, out of a second one. He's loose. He's across the 50, along the left side to the 30-yard line. He gets by Aguirre, and he's knocked out of bounds. Oh, man, they had him thrown for a loss, a huge loss, and instead it turns into a huge gain. They still haven't spotted the football, but they're in the red zone at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 39, and the Mustangs there just blew that play defensively. They had it.
Yeah.
And now I heard a whistle. No, there's going to be a handoff. Left side, Payer still on his feet. I thought I heard a whistle, but he's still going, and he's down across the 15, utilizing the sideline to the 13.
Yeah.
And now they blow the whistle for a timeout.
Yeah, that was the head official blowing the play ready to go after the first down. And boy, as soon as they blew that whistle, they snapped that ball.
Well, the gain was 8 yards to the 12. Well, I would grade Fort Morgan's defense at this point pretty much a D, and that's being kind. I mean, they've had 2 positive plays defensively. 2, well, maybe more than 2, but 2 for loss. Everything else has been a pretty decent game by Conifer.
Right.
And this is not close to the best offense they'll face all season.
No, that was my thoughts is, we don't know how good Conifer is because this is their first game too. But we do know how good Roosevelt's going to be and Frederick is going to be and those other teams down the
Holy
line.
Family.
Yep. So we're going to have to figure something out. And, they haven't scored yet.
They just got to wrap up because, like you said back here, I thought that we thought they had him for a loss, and he got away from them. They're just not wrapping.
Yeah, I mean, they need a lot more than that. From the 12-yard line, 2nd down and 2. Low slap to Nichols, or snap that is rolls to his right. He lobs it into the end zone, wide open touchdown. Wide open. I mean, there was nobody around.
Yeah.
Jake Ryan, 12, catches it from 12 yards out, and Conifer is in the lead. It's 12-7.
And that puts a bad taste in your mouth as you go into halftime. You hope that doesn't, hopefully I'm sure the coaches are going to work to build them back up and get them fired up. But, on a cold night like this, you get scored on in the last 30 seconds of the half. It's a tough halftime.
Well, he just ran towards the corner, and he was super wide open.
There were three receivers and only 2 defensive backs in that whole area, and he was not the one that was covered.
And now a timeout is called. This is going to be Fort Morgan's 2nd timeout. before a 2-point conversion. Looks like that's what they're going to attempt. And the Lobos lead 12-7. It's going to be a long season if Fort Morgan struggles in this game because they're going to have to improve. Now, they did improve last year after the first couple of games and picked up 3 victories and played well against Holy Family in a loss. But Conifer has just moved the ball down the field rather easily on the last 2 drives.
Yeah, they're going to have to do more with their offense. They're going to have to do a little more ball control and get some more yardage on their offense, not turn the ball over to them, or as far as having to punt back to them. So,
well, what makes it worse, that was a 95-yard drive, and Fort Morgan, all they had to do was make one play. It looked like Conifer at one point was almost ready to concede and just go into halftime down 7-6. Instead, they can take a 7-point lead. You're listening to Morgan County's B106 KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. Direct snap to Forsyth to his right. And he's going to be tackled at the 2-yard line. The 2-point conversion is no good. Noah Aguirre had the first penetration. Oscar Ramirez cleaned it up on the back end. So the Conifer lead is 5 at 12-7, 34.8 seconds to go before halftime. And now the Mustangs are going to need a big return, but they've only got 1 timeout. They do receive the second half kickoff, which is a good thing. Because at this point, a 2-score lead looks pretty big if Conifer has it with the way they've been able to move the ball.
That's right.
And I wasn't sure, looking at who they graduated last year, what their running game was even going to be this year, but that question is out the window right now. We've seen what they've been able to do against Fort Morgan anyway.
Well,
and how many opportunities are they going to have the ball in the second half? Each team got it. This will be our 3rd time. They had it 3 times.
Got to take advantage of your possessions.
Damian Simpson to kick it off. A high, short kick fielded at the 8. Drop picked up by Langford at the 15. He's going to get swallowed up. You got to catch that cleanly. He's down at the 13. And Fort Morgan more than likely will just take a knee or a simple handoff.
That's tough in this rain like this. That just slipped right through him. But
well, you made the point earlier that when he caught the wide receiver screen, he looked it in. That time he obviously didn't.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't anything funky about that kick at all.
It was a nice kick.
And very conventional. The halftime show is coming up here in just a couple of seconds. We'll keep it here. We'll send it back for a feature. But you're down at the 13-yard line, trailing 12-7. 2-yard touchdown run by Forsyth. And then the 12-yard touchdown pass from Wyatt Nichols to a wide open Jacob Ryan. Lopez in motion to the right. Has it on the end around. Stutter steps to the 15. And then he's tackled at about the 19, maybe the 20, for a gain of 8. And that should be it. Yeah, there's no reason to scramble back up to the line of scrimmage. I mean, you got 10 seconds to go. There was a game last year. They tried to do something late, but they're going to get the snap off. And there's the give up the middle. That's going to be a first down to Samson Ortega. That's his first carry of the second quarter, a gain of 4. He's got 4 carries for 71 yards, and that'll be it. We've hit the break with the score. Conifer 12, Fort Morgan 7.
Did they? No, okay. I thought maybe they'd stop the play there with the first down, but
nope. The Mustang halftime show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Check them out at morgancc.edu. The Mustangs grabbed a 7-0 lead on Samson Ortega's 38-yard touchdown run. Back came Conifer. The 2-yard TD run by Forsyth, and then the 12-yard pass from Nichols to Ryan. And the only thing I would say that is dominating right now is that Conifer ground game, but even the passing game is not lagging too far behind.
No, they're taking advantage of the Mustangs' defensive backs. They're just not keeping track of the guys. They go by them, and they're also a lot smaller, but they really haven't had a jump ball or anything as far as that's concerned. They're just not playing their position or keeping track of their receivers and they go by.
Well, Kevin, it might be about adjustment, but it's also about execution.
Right, and you talk about that passing game for the Lobos. They had that one bad pass that where they had the hold call on and it was a bad pass. The rest of them have been right in the receiver's hands, and they've done a good job of catching them and turning and making some yards. And then their run game, we have 2 tackles for loss, but for the most part, they're running at will against us.
All right, we'll take a break. We are at the halftime break in Conifer with a score. Conifer 12, Fort Morgan 7 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. Let us begin the second half. Conifer leads 12-7. They will kick it off. This will be Damian Simpson, a short kick. It'll bounce at the 16, picked up by Langford at the 20, running to his left to the 25. There's a seam to the 40, along the left side to the 40-yard line of Conifer, into the clear at the 20, and nearly dragged out from behind, but he'll score. Touchdown, Charlie Langford. Holy mahungus, that went for about 84 yards. Is there a flag down?
About the 43.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it will be a hold against Fort Morgan. It's coming back.
Oh, it was exciting, though.
That nullifies a long return. Yeah, there was a hold, so he's going to get some yardage, but not the whole thing.
Not touchdown yardage. I was looking and I didn't see anything, and then I saw the 2 refs over there talking. That's not good.
Yeah, so it's coming back. They will still have some decent field position. That's too bad. Oh, man, Langford had a kickoff return against Pueblo County for a touchdown last year and was looking to do the same, but it did not happen. Hold against the Mustangs. The football is at the 33-yard line. They don't identify who held, but it really doesn't matter at this point. You've got to get into the end zone on the offensive end. Samson Ortega had 4 carries for 71 yards in the opening half, including a 38-yard touchdown run. He is in the backfield. Lopez is on the inside slot to the right. 2 receivers out there from the pistol. On 1st and 10, now there's a flag down, and that's going to be against Fort Morgan. Somebody moved.
So the one thing that we can't do is hurt ourselves, and here we've lost 15 yards, well, plus whatever mile yards in the touchdown with points.
Yeah, but it happened there. Somebody did move. So it's going to be back to the 28-yard line. And that was thrown, it looked like by the back judge maybe.
Yeah.
Well, by the umpire.
Yeah. That's right. 1st down and 15 from the 28-yard line. Marquez with a handoff and running right and getting thrown for a loss is Ortega. Back to the 26-yard line. Jack Hughes made the hit.
Yeah, it's tough to come out from halftime after getting all pumped up and see that touchdown, and then now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 16. These kids need to dig deep and start making some plays.
At their own 27-yard line. Mustangs had a 7-0 lead. Conifer scored the last 12 points. Play action, Marquez to throw to his left. The pass is going to be tipped incomplete off the hands of the intended receiver.
37, whoever that is.
Jackson Wiedrick at the 38-yard line. It was thrown slightly behind him.
Yeah, that would have been a tough catch, I think.
Well, this could be a time to set up maybe a screen, get that Conifer defense penetrating and throw them off track. Because you're down to a 3rd and 16 at your own 27, down by 5 in the opening minute of quarter number 3. Langford and Lopez are the receivers to the right side. And they're taking their time getting this play in. And now they're counting down. We're at 3 seconds on the play clock. Got to get it off with 2. I don't know if they're going to get this off. They do. Marquez rolls out to his right. Pressure backside, still rolling. Throws on the run. It's caught underneath. Back to the original line of scrimmage to Angel Lopez. It's a gain of 6, 4th down and 10. And the Mustangs will have to punt.
Yeah, it's going to put pressure on the defense now. They
Right.
can't let Conifer go down and score on this drive.
But Conifer's got all the momentum. They've got things going, so someone's got to step up and make a big play.
Wolanski made the hit for the Lobos. Trey Romero gets the snap and a nice punt that'll bounce at the 32-yard line, take a slight Fort Morgan roll, now a bigger one, inside the 25 to the 20-yard line. And that punt went for 47 yards to go along with a 52-yarder earlier in the game. And here we go with Conifer. Can the Mustangs stop the Lobos? Their last drive went for 95 yards, ending on a 12-yard pass from Wyatt Nichols to the wide-open Jacob Ryan. And the one thing they want to establish, you would think, Brian, now is ball control.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to give it back to Fort Morgan either. And the way they were running the ball, I don't see why they can't control it.
On 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And they'd run a pistol as well. Wolanski in the backfield. 3 hand claps. Handoff. Left side back towards the middle. Spinning across the 25 to the 28. That's Karsten Payer instead. But he picks up 8 yards and nobody touched him until it was about 5 yards downfield.
Yeah, that's not a defense that's going to stop Conifer.
Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 2. Payer stutter steps and he cannot get back. Barely get back maybe to the original line of scrimmage, thrown back. Perhaps he got half a yard and that's about it. And that might have been Charlie Langford, and it was. Well, they give him close to a yard. 3rd down and 1 at the 29, but you've got to do that on consecutive plays, and that's what Fort Morgan has been unable to do.
Yeah, but they're going to see that your safety, your corner's coming up and making that play, and they're going to dump it over the top like they have been too.
3rd down and 1 at their own 29-yard line. Under center, handoff, up the middle, 1st down to the 34, and easy. That is Pearson Michael that time. That's the 3rd different back from the backfield they've handed it off to, and he gained 5 yards before Noah Aguirre and a couple of others able to make the play. And again, Fort Morgan went out pretty quickly. Conifer trying to extend the lead. It's 12-7, 1st and 10 at their own 34. Cozart in motion to the right. Nichols keeps the football, and he barrels up the middle to the 37. And Aguirre brings him down to the ground for a pickup of 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. That's some physical football that Fort Morgan played there. Oscar Ramirez also in on the play.
Yeah, they did a better job there, but they still ended up giving up 3 yards.
Well, but 3 yards is a victory considering the amount of yardage they've been allowing to this point.
Yeah, that's true. You just can't sustain giving that kind of yardage, though. You got to stop them for even less.
8:22 to go, 3rd quarter. Conifer 12, Fort Morgan 7. 2nd down and 7 to go for the 37-yard line. Man in motion to the right. There's the handoff on the end around, taking it to the outside. And a big gain and close to a 1st down across the 40 to the 44 is Wolanski. Again, there's a couple of Mustangs able to make the play with the way they're positioned, but they couldn't do it. A gain of 7. And it's another 1st down for the Lobos, as we're going to be under 8 minutes by the time the ball is snapped in this 3rd quarter.
They're overrunning the play, and the backs are cutting it back in, and they're there, but they just can't make the tackle.
That's a good observation, Brian. They are overrunning the play. Assignment football.
Yeah.
You just stay right there, and even if you don't make the tackle, somebody else will if you pull them to the inside. On 1st down and 10 at the 44-yard line for the Lobos, lining up with the left hash mark. Sadowski's in motion to the right. The keeper by Nichols to his left, and he's tackled around the ankles from behind. A short gain.
Yeah, that was good defense there.
Well, you tackle low as well. And it wasn't Velasquez. I'm trying to get a name on that. Let's see. Who made the hit for Fort Morgan. Yeah, well, stuff's going to go flying here anyway. 2nd down and 8. Let's see if I can pick up that number. That was Peyton Vickers, who made the tackle. 2nd and 8. There's the pitch right, nearly an errant pitch, and swinging it to the outside and across the 50 to the 47.
And there we had a defender back there, and instead of wrapping him up, he tried to blow up the play and missed it, and ended up getting an extra 12, 13 yards over what they would have had.
And that was a gain of 7 by Wolanski, but you're right, they did have him there. That pitch was nearly thrown behind him. Now it's a 3rd down and a yard to go. They're just making it look too easy, and they're chewing up tons of time.
Yep. Down to 6:20.
We're in the 3rd quarter. Conifer 12, Fort Morgan 7. The Mustangs grabbed the lead in the opening quarter. And there's the give on the right side. An easy 1st down and still going to the 35-yard line. Wolanski with a gain of 12. All he needed was 1. He just kept going before the Mustangs along the far sideline made the play. And I don't know what they're going to do here. I have no idea how they're going to counter this team that's just running with ease.
Yeah, I thought maybe Josh had changed things up a little bit at halftime, but so far it looks the same as it did in the first half.
And there's the quarterback keeper up the middle, and a big run for Nichols, breaking out of a tackle to the 10-yard line. He's at the 5, and he is
out.
Yeah, out of bounds, but he nearly scored. He was right near the end zone, all the way inside the 5. And he's down to the 2, a gain of 33 for Wyatt Nichols.
Yeah, that was.
Yep, Charlie Langford saved the touchdown.
Well,
good hustle play by Charlie.
Yep.
1st and goal at the 2. The Mustangs are getting swallowed up defensively. Baxton and I under center, handoff right up the gut, and near the goal line is Pearson Michael, but he's short.
And Conifer doesn't care.
No.
This will take more, unless they happen to fumble the ball or something.
Yeah,
but
you're absolutely right.
This is just taking another 25 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, if I'm Wyatt Nickel, I quarterback sneak this thing. Yeah, Nichols should just sneak this thing, and a timeout called by Conifer. We'll keep it right here. Thanks to all of our sponsors on what was a very misty, drizzly first half, and now it's dry and wet at the same time, as you can imagine. I don't even want to know what total yardage is in this game, but I'd say, and usually we're able to keep stats, but we're outside, and everything has gotten wet except the equipment or stat sheets. But I would say Conifer is well over 300 yards offensively.
Yeah, and I'd say Morgan's right at 100. They had that first drive, and they really haven't done anything since.
And the first drive went for 65 yards, and you're right.
Yeah.
And I really thought the way the Mustangs came out that this was going to be their night.
Yep.
And it still could be, but they're going to have to turn everything around.
Yeah, they've got to force a turnover here. They can't let Conifer go in there, but they've still got basically 3 shots at it. So,
well, Pearson Michael is in the backfield. There's 2 in the backfield. Under center is Wyatt Nichols. Handoff. Michaels up the middle. That is a touchdown. It looks like it's a touchdown from here, but they haven't called it. Now they call it. Yeah, I mean, I could see it from a long ways away for Pearson Michael. And Conifer leads 18-7 with 5:15 to go in the 3rd. Another lengthy drive for the Lobos.
And they'll go for 1 this time, unless they have a trick play.
yeah, they have no center and they have no holder.
Well, they've got that swinging gate with 7 to the left side of the ball. Yeah, they'll just realign here momentarily. And Damian Simpson to attempt the extra point. Awaiting the snap is Wolanski. Low snap. The kick is up, and that looks pretty good.
Looks like it hit the
And
post.
nope, it did hit the left upright.
Yeah, I didn't know if it went in or if it came out.
Right, it had a deceptive kind of rotation to it. We have 5:15 to go in the third quarter. Conifer 18, Fort Morgan 7 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Well, Grady Forsythe scored from 2 yards out to open up Conifer scoring, then a 12-yard touchdown pass from Nichols to Jacob Ryan, and then that 1-yard plunge by Pearson Michael. It's 18-7 Conifer. The Mustangs have done very little offensively since an opening drive that took Samson Ortega into the end zone from 38 yards out. They've got to enter right now. Damian Simpson to kick it off. And the line drive high and deep, and it bounces at the 5 and into the end zone. And keep in mind that we had a kickoff return by Charlie Langford called back as well.
Yep. Nope. They've got to get down there. They've got to take advantage of this. I know, granted, they're only starting from the 20, but they can't give the ball right back to Conifer.
Well, and you don't have to panic.
No.
Run the ball and see what happens.
You still got a quarter and a half.
Yes.
Almost to go. So.
Yes. There's no reason that you've got to pass right now. You're not in desperation mode. It's not 5 minutes to go in the game. It's 5:15 to go in the third. From the pistol formation, and we had a Mustang move on the left side. That's the type of night it has been for Fort Morgan after the opening drive.
Right.
Well, and that's kind of what happened earlier in the game. Even though they scored on that drive, if you remember their second play, it was a no huddle, and they had an immediate false start, and then they were able to work their way out of it.
And back-to-back possessions here in the third quarter, and they got to go 15 yards for a first down.
On 1st and 15 from the 15.
Thought they were playing six-man football or something.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like right now. Marquez, two-step drop, lobs it out to his left, caught underneath along the left sideline by Langford. He's got it 4 yards to the 19 before he's hit in front and near the Fort Morgan bench. Benson White makes the tackle.
Charlie's not feeling very good right now. He just went over and laid down on the sideline.
Yeah, he took a hit. It's a gain of 5, 2nd down and 10. Yeah, he is flat on his back, just shy of that track on the Fort Morgan side.
He got twisted around pretty good, I think.
2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Mustangs at their own 20-yard line. Will they hand it off? And that will be a handoff, and right up the middle and powering across the 20 to the 25 is Samson Ortega. That's his 5th carry, unofficially for 76 yards. 3rd down and 5 yards to go for the Mustangs.
Well, it's at least close enough to have a chance. They're not 3rd and 15. So they're crawling back into at least field position.
Well, you can still run the football in this 3rd and 5. Marquez, though, to throw. Out to his right, wide open. Lopez has it. A first down at the 31. Spins across the 35. And then he runs right into a defender, and he's tackled at the 39-yard line. That's a gain of 14 and a Mustang first down, keeping the drive alive. And Fort Morgan needed that in the worst way.
Yeah, that looked good. He had time to pass. The line gave him some time, and it was a nice tight spiral out to the right.
In a very well-run pattern. At the 39-yard line, quick snap. Marquez will hand it off, and Ortega is demolished in the backfield. There was no blocking there.
Yeah, our offensive
a loss
line
of 3.
Is really not made the improvement that they needed to make from last year.
Yeah, we thought they had on the first drive. They were making some holes, but
Yeah, that might have been Forsyth. 2nd down and 13 to go from their own 36. There was no chance.
No.
I mean, the best running back in the NFL couldn't have worked his way out of that one.
he almost had the handoff.
3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Conifer 18, Fort Morgan 7. The Mustangs have a 2nd down and 13 yards to go at their own 36-yard line. Lopez is in motion. Check that. On the handoff to the outside, he does have the football, and he wiggles across the 40 to the 41, maybe the 42, but that was a lot of Angel Lopez.
Yes.
He didn't have much there, and he gained 5.
Yeah, and they're pulling up. They're blitzing a safety. So they're not really respecting our pass game at all.
Well, they don't need to. Fort Morgan hasn't thrown the ball downfield except that one play, and that wasn't even downfield to Lopez. It was underneath. 3rd down and 8 at the 41-yard line. Mustangs have picked up a 1st down on this drive. They need another. Again, pistol formation. Marquez rolls out to his left. Pressure backside. Throws. And that pass is going to be caught by Wiedrich deep up the middle to about the 35. A 1st down and a gain of 24. A beautiful pass and catch from J.J. Marquez to Jackson Wiedrich over the shoulder.
And that's tough. When you're a right-handed passer and you run to your left to throw a pass like that, he did a great job. That's just backwards to you when you're running that.
From the 25, Marquez on the give to Ortega, running left to the 23, a gain of 2. Again, limited blocking on that side, although Ortega did get the 2 yards. Cam Sadowski made the hit. 2nd down and 8 to go, a minute 40 to go in the third quarter. Conifer leads 18-7. Mustangs in no hurry. You don't need to be in a hurry. You can kick a field goal, you're down by 1 possession, especially with Davila's leg. On 2nd down from the 23, 8 yards to go. Marquez will keep it himself, run to his right, a seam to the outside to the 20. Oh, and what a tackle there by Forsyth. If Forsyth doesn't get him around the ankles, Marquez is still going and would have picked up a 1st down. Instead, he gets 3 yards.
Yeah, Forsyth closed in on him pretty fast.
3rd down and 5 to go for the 20. 49 seconds remaining in the third. Marquez will hand it off to Ortega. Jitterbugs, spins, close to a 1st down. I think he's got it. At the 14, a gain of 6. Benson White made the hit for Conifer. Man, what a nice run there by Ortega. Clock restarts. We've got 38 seconds to go in the third. Here's Ortega again. That one's busted up. No gain. As Wolanski made the first hit. 2nd down and 10 with the ball resting at the Conifer 14. The Mustangs looking to make this a single score game. Well, are they going to take the time off the clock?
Timeout.
Wow. Why would Conifer call a timeout? I mean, they do have the lead, but to call a timeout with 14 seconds to go in the third is very unconventional.
I know they had a kid run out late. And I don't know why the refs didn't stop the clock for an injury timeout maybe, but he was running out late, shaking his arm and stuff. Maybe they were a man short and had to call a timeout.
Okay, well, they might need that timeout if the Mustangs can rally.
Right. We still have to figure out how to stop Conifer on this next drive. But
at some point you're going to have to take a chance defensively.
Right. But at this point, first priority is to get in, either get three or 7.
Right now it's 2nd down and 9 to go. Well, 10 to go, I should say, at the 14.
So you score a touchdown now. Do you go for 2 so that you're within 3?
Yeah, why not? Because even if you don't make it, you're only down by 5. I would go for 2.
Yeah.
2nd down and 10 to go for the 14 of Conifer. J.J. Marquez, 4 yards behind center, awaiting the snap. Behind him is Ortega, and Angel Lopez moved about 3 yards forward, and that's the third or fourth time we've had a Mustang either on the line or a receiver move before the snap, and this was off a timeout.
Yeah, for some reason their concentration's not there, and I don't understand why.
Well, you can chalk some of it up to first game, but Conifer doesn't seem to have those first game jitters.
Yep, exactly. 2nd down and 15 to go from the 19-yard line of Conifer. Again, on our 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page, hopefully at 11 or a little bit after. It'll be a Facebook Live segment. Morgan County Late Night, play action. Marquez rolls to his right. Marquez is sacked at the 30-yard line. Taken down, a loss of 11 is Forsyth. Made the play. That's the end of the third quarter. It's Conifer 18, Fort Morgan 7 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the fourth quarter in Conifer. Fort Morgan trails 18-7. And now, as I'm rejoined, of course, by Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, they got to figure out a 3rd and 25 play.
Yeah, see where they got that in the playbook.
They've got to get to the 4. So,
Or get within field goal range. Which, with the new kicker, you don't know how far you can kick it, but in wet conditions, that's not a
I would
good
say
bet
you got to
either.
get to the 20, at
Yeah,
least to the
well, at
20-yard line.
Yeah.
On 3rd down and 25. Langford and Lopez, the receivers, to the left. One receiver split out to the right. From the shotgun formation, Marquez, hard count. Looking over towards the sideline.
Oh, and the
Yep, they still haven't snapped it.
line judge is about, or the back judge is counting.
Well, they better get it all pretty quickly. Back to throw, Marquez. Still in the pocket, throws over the middle. It's caught by Lopez, and then he is taken down at the 19. It's a gain of 10. 4th down and 15 yards to go. Isaiah Ortiz was the other receiver in on that set. They're going to go for it.
Yep.
But now he's got to go end zone. I mean, you
Right.
got to go end
Yeah.
zone. You can't throw underneath. And now Conifer calls their 2nd timeout. And at this point, if they stop Fort Morgan, it's going to be almost impossible to win this game for the Mustangs.
Yep.
Because Conifer has chewed up clock. They've only punted once, I believe, in this game. So 4th down and 15 to go for the 19.
Yeah, they got to do something positive here.
And surprisingly, with these weather conditions, there hasn't been any turnovers. We had the one fumble,
Right, by
And they
Trey
got-
Romero that the Mustangs recovered.
Yep.
and that's it. It's been pretty clean that way.
There's too many offensive penalties.
Way too many.
Well, but the biggest penalty of the game undoubtedly was that holding call
Right.
on the 84-yard kickoff return by Charlie Langford to begin the second half. That would have turned everything around. It'd be a Fort Morgan lead. Maybe not at this point, but it would have been at that point. It is 4th down and 15 to go for the 19-yard line. Ortega is the running back to the right. Trips to the left, one to the right. J.J. Marquez, again looking over towards the sideline. And still just a look over there for play instructions. On 4th and 15. Marquez back to throw, looks to his left, steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be taken down back to the line of scrimmage at the 19. That's going to go as a sack of J.J. Marquez as the pocket eventually collapsed.
As you feel that pressure, you just got to throw it up there and
Yeah.
hope that your guy makes a play. Worst case scenario, they knock it down or intercept it. Better yet.
Jack Hughes was able to generate the sack, and Conifer takes over on downs with 11:24 to go in the game, up by 11.
He had plenty of time. I mean, the line did a nice job that time, and maybe they weren't coming as hard from Conifer, but he had plenty of time to throw it.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody was open, but you're right. He had the time. First and 10.
What's that saying? You got to throw them open? Is that what they're?
Yep,
Yep.
pretty much. Ball's at the 20. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Conifer attempts a pass, even though they've got 3 to the right side. This will be Nichols on a handoff and a loss. Oh, man. Ramirez and others flying into the backfield. Boy, nothing there for Payer.
That's what they needed. Now they need to do it 2 more times.
Right.
A loss back to the 19, second down and 11. You're right, but they have not done it tonight on consecutive plays.
No. See how long they take in the huddle if they're taking it down to the.
Sadowski in motion to the left, low snap, and I thought his knee was down. Throws it out to his left. Yeah, the knee was down, or they're going to say incomplete, but
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's just an incomplete pass on a little dump off to the left as the ball was on the ground and picked up by the quarterback, Wyatt Nichols, third down and 11. You know what? If I'm Conifer, I'd still run the ball. Run the ball. If you pick up 5 or 6 yards, I mean, you're going to punt anyway. But Fort Morgan, for the first time in this game, has 2 really good defensive plays in a row.
10.5 minutes left in the game.
On third down and 11 at their own 19-yard line. 4 yards behind Sinners. Nichols, he has the football. He's going to hand it off on the left side. That's a big hole and a first down. Payer across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Maybe the Mustangs were anticipating a pass, but it's a gain of 14, and the Mustangs got undressed there defensively by the left side of that offensive line and running back Carson Payer.
Yeah, their opportunities to win this are running out quickly.
And he stayed in bounds, and the clock for some reason is not running. Now it is. A gain of 15 at the 34-yard line. Oh, more than likely just a simple handoff, and there it is, and that is Wolanski that time. Across the 35 to the 38, nothing fancy there.
Gain of 3 on that play brings it to 2nd and 7.
3.
Yeah,
About
more like
5.
4. Yeah, more like 4. And around the football for Fort Morgan was Miguel Davila. Second down and 6. 4. They'll take 4 every time.
Oh, yeah. You get down the field at that rate.
At the 38-yard line. Up 18 to 7. And this is the give to Wolanski running left side. He snaps out of a tackle and then backs his body across the 45 to the 46. A first down and a gain of 8, close to 9 for Wolanski.
Yeah, tough night for that Mustang
Might be
defense,
blocked.
that's for sure.
So first and 10 at the 47-yard line.
A lot of work this week on defense anyway.
And look how much time they're taking in the huddle.
Oh, yeah, they're down to the last. See if they even get it off.
Well, yeah, they're under 9 minutes to go. They got to get it off quickly. And there's the flag. Well, that's not a good job by Nichols there, the quarterback. You got to know when that play clock is running down, you've got the back judge right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were late getting up to the line. They were just too long in the huddle.
Or the coaches. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
right.
just the quarterback. The coaches call a timeout. They had a timeout remaining, and they still do. And Kevin Rohde said many times you can't take them with you.
That's right. But it's better to use them when you need them.
Yeah, good point. First down and 15 from their own 42-yard line. This has been ball control at its best by Conifer. Two receivers split out to the left, one to the right. Wolanski in that backfield, they could just give it to him again and get at least some yardage. I think a flag. Did I
Yep.
see a flag fly?
Yep.
And the
Yeah,
handoff to
illegal
Wolanski to the
shift.
44. Yeah, that's going to go against Conifer.
Gain of 2 for
Now they're shooting themselves in the foot after a short gain of 2, but that's going to come back.
These officials must not have wireless headsets, because usually they're able to just radio what the call is, and they don't have to run all the way in and tell them.
Yep. Well, now the ball's going to be placed back at the 37, and it's a first down and 20. But again, they just picked up a 3rd and 14 on a running play.
Yep.
That gives them another down to run more time off the clock.
That's
too.
it.
I mean, it really doesn't hurt them.
No. That's all it does. 1st and 20 at their own 37. Conifer 18, Fort Morgan 7. They've not converted an extra point, but they scored 3 touchdowns. 4 yards behind center, and then Nichols rolls out to his right. Plenty of running room to the 40 along the right sideline, and then he's taken out of bounds near midfield. That's not what he wanted to do. He wanted the yardage, but you don't want to stop the clock if you're Conifer. And it's a gain of 11. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Lobos.
I thought maybe he was going to pull up and pass at number 12, but got behind the defensive backs again. But
Right, Jacob Ryan, who caught the touchdown just before halftime to give Conifer the lead, which they've only extended since then. Mustangs did get into the red zone, but could not convert on a 4th and 15 moments ago. 2nd down and 9 at their own 48. Man in motion to the left. There is the give on the right side to Wolanski, and he stumbles to the 50-yard line. Gain of 2. That's about it. Trey Romero had the initial penetration for the Mustangs.
I think if they've got any chance to come back in this game, they've got to stop them here on this possession. If they get another first down, I don't see.
Brian, how many times have we said that? I know. I think we've said that many times. Yeah.
I'm not taking my shoes off tonight to count them either.
Right. No, I know. But we have said that so many times. You're right.
Yeah.
But listen, it does bear repeating.
I mean, we're down under 8 minutes, so.
3rd and 7. There's the give. Right side. That's a first down into the secondary. Across the 40 to the 39. That is Wolanski for a gain of 11. And they have shredded Fort Morgan's defense. And that was nothing fancy whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're just being manhandled up front.
Now the clock reads 7 minutes and 36 seconds to go. Conifer is in control. Conifer has got well over, you would think, 350, maybe 400 yards of offense, just the majority on the ground. In Mustang territory at the 39, Sadowski is in motion to the left. Low snap. Nichols will keep it himself. He doesn't want to get out of bounds, and he's going to be taken down at the 36. Kozar
was in at quarterback.
Kozar, you're right, direct snap, right. 1-0, not 1-1.
Yeah, because the quarterback had come out.
Gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 to go. Now Nichols is back in for Kozart. Yeah, I guess Nichols needs a rest. He's been a warrior out there as well, along with the running backs in that offensive line. From the 36-yard line of Fort Morgan, 2nd down and 7. Again, man in motion, high snap. The ball is on the ground. It's picked up by Nichols, and then he tries to shovel a pass. It's caught by Ryan for a huge loss. That was not a good decision. That loss back to the 46-yard line. It's a loss of 10. And I don't know what Nichols was doing there. Just take the sack.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not a sack, just fall on it.
Well, what would have been better is when he threw the ball for that offensive lineman to knock it down.
Yeah.
Or
But it was
offensive
caught.
receiver. Yeah, but he caught it. Because if he knocks it down, then it goes back to the line of scrimmage as an incomplete pass.
Now, it did accomplish one thing.
Stop the clock.
No, it kept the clock moving.
Yeah.
True.
That he caught it.
It did
Yeah.
catch it.
But still, you could have done the same thing without the danger of having that ball intercepted. 3rd down and 17 to go. There's going to be a handoff on the right side, and not much there for Payer across the 45 to the 43, a gain of 3. And that was it. Oscar Ramirez made the hit. 4th down, and we'll call it 12. They're going to give him the 42, and Conifer will punt for the first time in this half.
Number 12, Benson White, back to punt for
See what
Wow.
Charlie can do with it. No, it's not Charlie. It's Angel
No,
Lopez.
Angel Lopez, and we're at 5:10 to go in the game.
I wonder if Charlie's still hurting out there.
Yeah, Benson White to punt. Perfect snap. And a low line drive, end over end. Lopez has it, drops it at the 3-yard line. Oh, he's going to be in major trouble. Wiggles to the 5, along the left side to the 15, but he runs out of room, and then it's nearly horse-collared.
Yeah,
Man.
I think they should have called that.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it looked like something unconventional. Taken out of bounds near the 20. How is that not a horse collar?
It's either that or face mask. I couldn't
Right.
tell, but he got jerked around there.
Yeah,
I'm not
it
sure
was a
what
horse
happened.
collar. Maybe it was far enough forward that he pulled him
Right.
sideways, but
first and 10 at the 20 yard.
Yeah, if you get a little bit lower on that jersey.
yeah.
We'll have a quick post game so we can get back home and get away from these. Rather, now it's not misty anymore, but
Right.
just
So now he's out and Langford's out. So who's going to be the wide receivers?
Well, Langford's been playing, but is he not in now?
well, all right, Isaiah Ortiz has been in there.
Yeah, Langford's not in there,
No.
and he didn't go back to turn that punt.
That is Dawson Call, the
Okay.
freshman, out to the left. 1st and 10 from the 20. Marquez looks to his right. That's going to be a lateral, and it's caught. And spinning to the 21. Let's see who made that catch.
Pass to Fritzer.
That is Ben Fritzler, but that's going to be a rushing attempt because he threw it behind him. Yeah, he did throw it behind him. And back maybe for a yard, 2nd down and 9. We're under 4.5 to go in the game. Conifer with an 18-7 lead. Mustangs have got to pull a rabbit out of the hat just to score.
Yep.
Ortiz and Dawson Call are the receivers to the left side. Now Fritzler's going to line up as a receiver to the right, naked backfield. Marquez, quick drop, looks to throw. Heaves it deep up the right side. Fritzler's out there, and he came back, but it's incomplete. It was underthrown at the 45.
Yeah, he had him deep, but couldn't deliver.
Defending on that play by the senior.
3rd down and 9 to go. Yeah, that could have been a pretty play.
Yeah, just didn't get enough into it.
3rd and 9 at the 21-yard line. And it's not like Fort Morgan has got these huge receivers. They're all very good athletes. But they don't have a target like a Forsyth does for Conifer. Marquez to throw on 3rd. He drops the ball. He picks it up, runs to his right, and then he's going to be taken down. He's tackled at the 18, 19-yard line for a loss, and the Mustangs will have to punt on a 4th down and 11.
Well, at this point, they have to go. But
Almost, yeah.
there's no point in punting unless
No.
you're giving up.
Well,
Forsyth also over there.
you're right. They're just going to lose by more if they don't pick up the 1st down and Conifer scores. So they'll go for it on a 4th down and 11 at the 19. Trailing 18-7. And keep in mind, Fort Morgan hosts Brush next week, and that's going to be an even more critical game with a loss tonight in Conifer.
And they take a lot of time off the clock when they need the time to play.
And now a timeout's been called by Fort Morgan. Conifer has been very impressive tonight.
Yeah, that is true. Conifer has really come through and ran the ball well, passed the ball well, and played pretty good defense.
Yep.
And mistake-free football for the most part. Haven't killed themselves except that first drive. And it's early. Fort Morgan can, improve as the season goes along. Next week will be a big test against inter-county Brush, and then they got a couple other tough games, and then they slide into those away games down in Denver, which will be a little easier on them.
Well, those will be in October. That game against Lincoln won't be that easy. They had to squeeze one out against Lincoln last year, but you're right, the one against Kennedy, they had them at a running clock last year in the 4th quarter. Here we go. 3rd down, make it 4th down, and 11 from the 19-yard line. This is it. You don't pick up the 1st down, you're chances of even getting back into the game are done. Marquez is going to roll out to his left. Pressure coming. Throws underneath. It's going to be caught, but that's not going to be even close to a first down. And let's see who made that catch right in front of the Conifer bench. Noah Aguirre. But it's a gain of only about 6 to the 25. And Marquez had to escape because there was somebody coming on his tail.
Yep.
And the Lobos will have it at the Mustang 25 with 3:06 to go in the game. Well,
And we don't have Langford in on defense,
at this point, hopefully the Mustangs can just keep
but Lopez is back in there.
Conifer out of the end zone, yeah. All they're going to do is run the ball. I mean, they've got trips to the right, but I'd be surprised if they threw the ball. There is the give, right side, and that's a gain of about 5 to Wolanski, Christian Wolanski. Upended by Fritzler, second down, and 5 to go at the 20. Now it's time to allow that clock to run. 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the game. The Mustangs will have lots of work to do this week and try to somehow rebound from a setback tonight in Conifer. At the 20-yard line, second down and 5. Yeah, Dawson Call is in there on defense. And there's the pitch right. This is Payer along the sideline. What is he doing? Getting out of bounds. Yeah, I don't understand that. A couple of Mustangs ushered him out of bounds, but again, he ran on the short side of the field for a gain of 2. Third down and 3 at the Mustang 18-yard line. Clock stops, 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go. I mean, again, you just want to keep Conifer out of the end zone.
Yeah.
18-7 is tough enough. 24-25-7 would really hurt even more. Third and short, handoff, right side, short of a first down to Wolanski to the 16, a gain of 2. Ben Fritzler came up and made contact with the back along with Wyatt Peterson. Fourth down and less than a yard. They have not quarterback snuck it the whole game. I don't know if they'll do that here. You got Pearson, Michael, and Wolanski in the backfield under center. Handoff, Michael, and he's right at the line to make. I think he's got it at the 15, but he had to back his way to the 15. That's a first down, and that should pretty much do it. Post-game show coming up, brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. And let's see how many more plays Conifer's going to run. And did somebody stop the clock here?
Why is it not running?
Well, you can take a knee. What are they doing?
He's winding the clock.
Yeah, but at
but
the
they're
14,
But they didn't.
there's the give to Wolanski running right side. He spins to the 10, now to the 7. And again, that was that same penetration by Wyatt Peterson. And it's a gain of 7. Well, you do have the option of taking a knee here and just keeping it at 18-7.
Yeah. Fort Morgan has no desire to stop the clock. So.
No, it's a gain of 6. They backtrack the football to the 8-yard line. I mean, it would be nice just to take a knee and get out of here and not have to kick it off. 57 seconds to go in the game. Second down and 4. There is a handoff and a nice play there. That's Peterson again on Wolanski. He's thrown down at the line of scrimmage. Wyatt Peterson has made some contributions for the Mustangs here on this drive. And now you definitely take the knee or don't even snap it. Well, I think they have to snap it once.
Yeah.
On third down and about 3 to go, just inside the 8-yard line. Yeah, go to victory formation, please.
Yeah,
It's not a good look. It's not a good look if you snap this thing. You got 12 seconds to go. Oh, boy. They're not doing it. They'll hand it off to Wolanski, and he's going to be thrown down. Good job there. That's a good thing. That looks like Wiedrich made the play, but why? Why even run that play? It's going to be a loss of 4 and a positive play to end the game. Conifer Lobos defeat the Fort Morgan Mustangs by a score of 18-7. Let's get to the Mustang post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. The Mustangs got a 38-yard touchdown run by Samson Ortega, but back came Conifer. They had a 12-7 lead at the break. They got the 2-yard touchdown run by Forsythe, the 12-yard pass from Wyatt Nichols to Jacob Ryan. And then they basically sealed it with a 1-yard plunge there by Pearson Michael. But both of you are smash mouth guys, Kevin, and that was a smash mouth type of performance for the most part by Conifer.
I was going to say, Fort Morgan should look at the film and the coaches say, that's the type of football we should be playing. That's Mustang football, running down people's throats. Conifer just did a really good job. All credit to them. Fort Morgan's young, still has a big problem with both offensive and defensive line, and needs to work on that, and they'll only get better.
Yeah, that's for sure. They've got a lot of improvement to do, and they got a hard week of practice coming up here this week. Take on Brush coming up on Thursday. So
yeah, it's a short week for them.
It's going to be a short week. So,
well, keep in mind the Colorado Prep Scoreboard Show will commence next Friday, 9:30 to 11, with Kevin Schaefer on B106, coming up tonight at 11 o'clock on Facebook Live on the 1010 KSIR Sports page. It'll be Morgan County late night. We'll break down some Morgan County football that's coming up at about 11, maybe a little bit after 11 p.m. Straight up at 9 o'clock, this is Morgan County's B106 KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. We'll be back with you on Thursday night for the Mustang Express at 6 o'clock and kickoff at 7 o'clock with the Mustangs home to the Brush Bee Diggers. For Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, I'm John Beltran. The final score tonight, Conifer 18, Fort Morgan 7 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.